All right, good morning, peoples. Let's jump in here. I'm actually going to do two together because I've been so busy making other videos and doing that. I have to render each one, then upload each one. So tonight I'll probably do three, but I'm going to mix Ybit with Misty. So obviously if you want one and not the other, you just move through. So Misty will be the first half, and then I'll move into Ybit. All right, so let's jump in here. 610's activity, so only a small 0.23 of 1% in MSTR, and I think I saw it down pre-market here, a little more. So we're in good position on the weeklies. There were three trades, really a buy and sell on, well, let me finish this. So what did we do? We went up 31.34, right? So we went up 1.03. So a bunch of you guys piled in, and I would be kind of thinking the same thing, only I've kept those additional shares that I sold out of Coney, and I have some new money available, so I'll be deploying that this week. I don't really need to send the Misty back. Otherwise, I probably would have been buying more Misty. So why do I say that? Well, we'll talk about the trades, but we went up 825,000 shares, right? That's let's look at holdings for a percentage. So that is 12.09. It's a pretty good size. Let me verify that June Q31 is the right number. I changed that formula to be more automated. Yeah, I don't like what I did there. I'm going to have to fix that. But it's probably the right number. I'm not going to worry a percent or two on that. Let's focus on the key stuff. All right. So bottom line, though, it moved up 825,000 shares, which is big on 6.9. That's really the number that you want here, and it may work out. Yeah, 11.96. Okay, so what else? Let's look at those trades. So the trades were buy a call, sell short a put. And again, since we're slightly over, this cost us money, unlike, Ybit or someone where we're way underneath the strike price. We get to make money when we write that, but we have a liability. And then we sold the same quantity on a 17.15 strike price. We sold 195 contracts at 29. So what that looks like here is when we go across, we always put our weekly calls here, and we always put our synthetics in the current synthetic. So going across, we picked up 565,000, right? That's that. We collect the money when we sell the naked call. And what happens is we look really good on these. We had written 1820s and 1850s, and then the really big contract size 1800. So this dropping with us, we slowly have gone down. We didn't just have a big massive, and Bitcoin's pulled back into 67, low 68s. As long as it stays above 66, it's still in the upper support zone. Yeah, I got 67,000. I just flipped over to real time. I'm not going to drag it over. I want to move through these videos. But if you're interested, and so that being down some is likely to cause, the Ybits and the Misties and the Conies to go down some today, at least on the open. So we'll see. I know the dollar's stronger. I can't even, when I get this busy, I can't even keep up with all the particular news items driving the markets. I'll try and get in my Slack group and read and get through this week. This has been a super busy week and will be a very, very busy week. I've just got so much on the plate. Okay, but I appreciate all you new people. I appreciate all the subscribers. I love all your comments. I'm trying to get through them all. And James Wang, I address your comment. I don't know if you're a troll. I don't know if you're trying to be negative or if you're a legitimate investor and you're just saying, hey, this thing, Ybit sucks. It's not following BTC, but you're wrong. I'm going to show a chart. I wrote you a long, detailed answer. I always give somebody the benefit of the doubt. And then if they turn out to be a troll and they're just trying to, waste energy and time, then I won't even bother to comment. But I always give somebody the benefit of the doubt if they don't understand, right? Or they're confused. But as I said in my answer, charts don't lie. I look at this all the time. Okay, so let's move through Misty. Not a lot here. They're in a great cash position, but look. I mean, when you go up 825,000 times $30, there's 24 million right there. So that's where the money comes from. And then when they write the call, they have collateral money, but they actually collect money. And then it becomes a liability, but then they don't have to buy it back for anything if it stays at 715 or below, right? We got 4 trading days. So let's look at the weeklies, or the weeklies, boy am I. Let's look at the synthetic. So when we roll to this 1550, we were in a 1540 forever, right? And now we're in a 1550, and I copied my 1540 table and put new data in, but didn't update that. I added this days to expiration automatic calculation here. I've always had the percent here out of, above the strike price. We're either in the money or out of the money. So what that does is when we write calls and put on synthetics, we pay a lot more for the call than we do the selling the put, because we're already above that strike price. If we're way underneath it, it's more risk on the call, and they're willing to give us a lot more money, right? So just be aware of that. So we're setting there when we put these on. Now all we have to do to execute, which I'm not in the least worried, is run up to 16, 17, 18, 19, right? And we start making this, instead of an 8.6 million, a 20, a 30, a 40, or a 50 million, and that's where you can get your big payouts on the synthetic. Now, if we run too fast, we go by the weeklies. Again, a little education. All right, let's jump back and look at our summary of the weeklies that we have on. And here's where we are. So this is the new one, right? Look at this. Look how far out of the money with 4 trading days. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And you got it down a little in the pre-market. That doesn't mean what the daily close is. So we've captured 65.2%, and I'll show you in detail, of our weeklies, okay? But we really need this because we're not, when I show you, we're not looking that good. I made a math error, and I had to fix it from my last report. But we look good. It's just we're going to, at some point, need to roll our synthetic and capture that 8 million, or hopefully it's more. And we need to keep winning on our weeklies. It just means we don't have a lot of cash being generated. But it's super early, not 6 days since declaration, right? And 3 days since payout. Well, actually, 1 trading day since payout. But just stating for new people coming in what the purpose of all this. We're tracking the revenue, right? We're seeing how we're performing. So on the holdings, we dial in this info and everything else. So we're cash rich up here, I didn't even bother to update all these. Okay, I did update the shares. I didn't even update this piece. So it's not it's not critical, but I got too much on my plate. And actually, when this one gets updated, which I didn't, it looks like, I will update that. That's now 1422. And this one is 1422. I got so many. Okay, and so this number has gone up a little bit. 5, 8, 9, 6, 4, 5. And let's figure out we're at 223. Okay, so 223, 175. So it matches, I think, what I had done on the other sheet, right? I should link those over here. Whoops, I did that. Where am I showing? Oh, in the synthetic itself, yeah. 8615237. 8615. Okay, because sometimes I haven't decided which one I want to link to which one. So but I know everybody loves this layout, so it captures. This is completely accurate. I went through it. The reason I keep two segments here is when we're rolling on a Friday and Monday morning, I show you what new stuff they put on later in the day on Friday for this week. I leave the old in here, but once all we have is one, then I moved everything up. And look at this capture rate. So we got 4.1 on this, right? So they all add up to 1422. These always match. So we got 8.6 million. Remember that paper profit analysis? So that's sitting there in the synthetic as a win, but it's not cash that's been converted to show in the piggy bank. So this is positive. That money is showing, right? Because we've written all these calls. But look at this, 68.4, 85.3, 84.93. This is the one that matters. I mean, these two. This one's much lower, but look at us. We're at 1599. This is pretty hard chance that we're going to blow by 1800. At 200. Could it happen? Of course. And then our synthetic up here would just be loaded to the gills, right? And then we would take 8 or 9 million loss here, and we'd probably have a 25 million gain or something. So right now on the 5092 for this week with 4 trading days, we would only have to buy it for 1.7. The way we're going, we'll be able to keep all that. That's what I like to explain and have you understand. All right. Here's what I wrote. I wanted to be honest here, right? So we're not really looking that good yet. It's the first couple of days. And what I mean by that is this is not a negative number and this is not a negative number. So we got a 2.509 million loss on our synthetic, right? Because we're buying those calls and selling the puts. So until we roll that synthetic, what we've actually captured is these losses when we add synthetics. But the paper value is going up. Think of it as your bank account. You're buying a stock, you buy it at $10, and it moves up to 12. You buy more at 12. So you look at your bank account and you say, wow, I spent 10,000 and then I spent 4,000. But you look in your stock account and you say, hey, I got a 5,000 gain. Well, you don't have any gain. Technically, you can't put it in your bank account, right? It's in your stock portfolio value. So until you sell it and put it back in the bank, it's not a real gain, or sell it in your brokerage account and you see it in cash. So that's what I correlate this to. So I'm not worried, but I'm reporting, right? And the same over here. This is negative because the last week we took a big hit here. And it, at the tail end, carried in to this reporting period. So not a big deal. It's 38 cents and 5 cents, right? We can overcome that. You know, we've got 8 million in profit. So if they roll that synthetic, this would be a 6 million win, and we'd have 90 cents total. So I'm just pointing out, but this does include this week's gains already. So we want to capture those, but we're looking fabulous. So that's what I got on Misty, folks. Hope that helps. Hope the detail and explaining helps you guys. All right, let's move into my next one. And my next one is Ybit. All right, let's go to June. So what did Ybit do? Ybit was up slightly. What we've been doing here, if you notice a trend, we're up 0.9, almost 1%. BITO is only up 0.25%, right? So, you know, people, oh, you're not performing, you're not doing this, you know, look at the chart. Now, I don't have one chart that I wanted to show you, but I'm going to tell you guys. There's a great chart. I found it out on the block. And so I can't copy the chart, but I can drag the page over and show it to you. You know, it's an embed, so it gives you a web page instead of a picture. I could snap a picture of the page and you know, display that. But I'm not there. I need to move through this. But I will show you a chart that I made that over the last month I compare Ybit to BITO. And they're almost 1 for 1. And I already know that BITO maps, but both of BITO and Ybit pay big money. BTC pays no money, so it doesn't have the drop. Both BITO and both Ybit dropped after their ex-dividend. When you go to their ex-dividend, they paid like $1.69, something like that. I own it. I just don't always remember the exact number. And then we paid $1.37. So those are big drawdowns, and you see it in this correlative chart. So let me find that for you good peoples and show it to you. Okay, where is it? There it is. No? I got so many tabs open and so much stuff on my second monitor, peoples. It's a nightmare lately. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. This is all I wanted to show. So, James, I hope you're happy. You may not be. Okay. So, the orange is BITO. So, when you do this kind of a comparative on this charting program, it doesn't give you the underlying price. It simply gives you the percent up and down. But that works fine. And the black is Ybit. Also, whenever you want to look at a mature chart, I mean a mature symbol and an immature brand new fund that has very small volume, you're going to see variations. But the point is, this is a moving up trend. We're in a moving up trend, right? We go sideways. For the most part, they go sideways. Now notice their drop here, from here to here, or from here to here, was all about their ex-dividend. Okay, ours and the ex-dividend was right here, from 6.5 when we declare to where we open up and trade. So other than that, you know, we're a little bit below the percentage where we just about opened. I guess I could have done 2 months here. I don't know what that's going to do for us. Yeah, it starts taking a different vantage points. But these are closely correlated. The only thing I would say here is we were all thinking, I was certainly communicating and thinking we were going to get a bigger payout than we got. So I had already had my shares back in this time frame, right? Even when I saw that, I didn't put any more on because I own Coney and I own a lot of Misty, and I said I don't need to load up that much on Ybit. That's 3 crypto-oriented, right? Plus I own a little BITO. So I put it in other things and just held back from adding, but some people jumped the gun, went in early, ran this up. I don't know if it was traders, I don't know if it was scalpers or whatever, and then, you know, it dropped back down. Came right back down, right before, probably by the time we declared. But if you look at that day, it flew up and came back. They didn't even know what the declaration was. So it seemed like some scalpers involved in this. And then we traded down. But anybody that looks at that chart, and I have the chart on BITO and the futures to BTC, they map, if you add the dividends back to BTC, they're basically even always, you know, within 1% over a 6-month period. But I have noticed that there's a slight gap, bigger gap over about the last 5 weeks. And I mean, I'm talking bigger, I'm talking minorly bigger. If there was a 0.5%, it might be 0.75% between BITO and BTC. But we're mapping right to BITO. So I'm trying to dispel anybody that's saying those kind of things or simply just doesn't understand it, right? They saw this ex-dividend drop and they don't see that on BITO. Why would you? They don't pay a dividend. They have no drop. Okay, let's get back to the rest of it. So they put on 3 trades. I think I have those. Yes, I do. Okay. So here's our 3 trades. It involves a synthetic, right? All 1,000, buy a call, sell short a put. Now, we make a lot of money on these. We buy for 2 cents and sell for 9.41. We're trading at 26 something on BITO, and we're selling 36 calls. It's for a strike. We've had that for some time. And then we put the 1,000 and we sold a weekly, okay? So what that does, that creates an interesting dynamic. I'll just jump over here to payouts and I'll explain what, no, I want to go to synthetic, my bad. Okay, so every time we write these, now there was an exception where we bought something back, but we come over and we buy something for 19 cents and sell this for, so it only costs us 60,000 here to buy the call and we sell this put, but what we're building up is a paper liability, a paper loss. So we've got a 7.3 million paper loss that doesn't affect our piggy bank, right? It's actually 7.8. I think that, yeah, I updated this one. That's so many, let's verify that. Yeah, 9712509 and 03, yeah, 7.8, okay. However, if you look at us, in May we had a 5 million gain, and in June so far we have a 2.3 million gain. Those are real gains. Those are money in the piggy bank. So now I can go over here and show you that. So we went through some scenarios here where we didn't get this kind of cash. We got $1.37. And I don't think the same thing will play. We've collected 266, right, so far. And the synthetic, you see why, because we're writing those 36s. We're at 16, 18. We're winning on all our weeklies, right? This includes this week weeklies. So we got 55 cents there in a total altogether of 266. The issue, okay, is when you go, where am I trying to find? Yeah. So I'm showing here the 7.8 million loss. And on this weekly, we show where we are. So on our contracts, all right, I'll clarify that in a minute. So let's do what we did on Misty on the holdings and on the weekly. All right. So we're up to date. Here's our share count. Oh, by the way, I didn't show you that, right? This one. Anytime you see buying in the weekdays, almost always it's money flowing in. So 125,000 shares flowed into the fund. And we sold this 195 contracts. We went out to a 27. Remember where we are in June. You know, that's pretty good. We're trading at 26.23. Look how beautiful these are. These are all 27.5s. So unless Beto just goes nuts this week, we do have FOMC, some things, but this looks pretty good for capturing this big bulk, these monies here. So how are we doing on those? Well, we're winning, right? This is wrong, 1,300. No, that's right. It must be in my holdings. No, I have it right. Okay, so they're 27.5, 28.5, and 27. I think they're entered wrong here. One of these is a 28.5. Okay, I'll go back, but it's not a big deal for the moment. I go by these others that really matter. These are much more accurate, right? We've got a 27 that we just wrote, a 27.5 and a 28.5. These are both put in different days. So we're all the way 8% out of the money to 2. So out of the 309 that we've collected, that we've been paid into piggy bank, we've gained back 45% of that. If we had to buy out today, we would have a win. Okay. So we see that in holdings. Now, this is what I'm referring to when I say the synthetic liability, right? The 7.8 here, 7.8 there. So if you go to the payouts, piggy bank looks great. If this ended tomorrow, you'd say, well, they're going to pay us, $1.80 or something. But in this case, we will have to roll, and when we roll, it's June 21. How many days is that on my weekly? I'm going back to the wrong one. 10 days, right? A week from this coming Friday. So we got 4 more trading days, counting today, which this is already using today's date. And we have to do something, right? We're at 26.23 and the strike's 36. So it would cost us 7.8. Well, a little bit of the time to gain will be gone. But say it's a 7 million loss if all we did was stay here. We got another week to capture weeklies, but a 7 million loss there would make this a 4 million loss on one, right? So you always have to be aware. That's why I was surprised they didn't pay out more last time. But maybe they were looking at that liability and saying, and then maybe they're going to give us the benefit of the doubt. And this month, if we have a hit there and don't make a lot, they're still going to pay us $1 something, right? I mean, this is a $19 stock, so getting paid $1 something is still a terrific yield. But let's see what happens to crypto. I don't try to predict short term. It just makes no sense. I mean, you can be right in your direction and be wrong in the near term. That's why buying calls is a risky business. Okay, so that should walk you through what's going on. I'm still positive on BTC and where it's going. I just would like to see them go ahead and roll this and get past it, right? I'm not putting anything more into Ybit because I own a significant amount. Again, a lot more Misty. But I'm also diversifying. I'm even considering some YIELDMAX, right? Middle of the road, 50% or so. If you saw my video on that, you're spread out a little. And then waiting for them to put funds. I got my GDXY. I want to see that start to move. I want to see a better breakout. The governments don't like gold. They really don't like the precious. They've been beat up and unloved, but when they get going, they will. They're so far undervalued that people will find that move. These metal prices are going to generate terrific profits for these mining companies in Q2 and Q3. So we'll see some movement. And then try and pick and choose in some of these funds, right? Long as the market doesn't turn over, which it could at any time, then, we're doing much better. And then we can go into some hedging strategies. So that's what I got for you. Sorry it's not better news, but I think it will be positive upward movement in these in BTC will solve a lot of issues here for Ybit. All right, so that's what I got for you. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I ran through this quickly. Hopefully I didn't miss something. If I did, just hit me up with a note. Okay, I'll see you guys. I've got a few more to do. Bye for now.